Good morning, students. Today we are discussing the chapter Production of Metals. In that already we studied something, right? The metallurgy. It is the process of which involves the extraction of pure metal from its ore. This we studied in the last class, right? In the metallurgy, 3 different steps are there. Which are they? Are you remembering? The first step is concentration of ore. And the second step is extraction of metal from concentrated ore. And the third step is refining of metal. The concentration of ore we studied in the last class, right? And different methods used to concentrate the ore is also studied in the last class. Let us continue it. The second part, that is the second step, extraction of metals. It involves 2 steps. The first step is conversion of the concentrated ore into its oxide. Conversion of the concentrated ore into its oxide. And the second step is reduction of the oxide. So first step contains 2 different methods to convert concentrated ore into oxide. Depending on the nature of ore and impurity, we are selecting the methods. Let us see which methods are there. The first method is calcination and the second one is roasting. Conversion of the concentrated ore into its oxide, which involves 2 methods. The one is calcination and the second one is roasting. In the calcination, we are heating the concentrated ore at the temperature below its melting point and in the absence of air. In the calcination, we are heating the concentrated ore in the absence of air at the temperature below its melting point. What do you mean by melting point? The temperature where the solid is converted into liquid is called as melting point. So, in the calcination, we are heating the concentrated ore in the absence of air. Remember it, in the absence of air, we are heating the concentrated ore in the calcination process. And in the process, there may be ore contains carbonates or hydroxides of metal. The ore contains carbonates or hydroxides of metal. It will be converted into oxide. Carbonates or hydroxides of metal will convert into oxide. This is the process calcination. Let us see roasting. In the roasting, we are heating the concentrated ore in the presence of air at the temperature below its melting point. And in this process, we are removing the moisture present in the ore. As in the kitchen, we are roasting, right? Roasting of bread, roasting of dosa. As same as that, in this process, we are roasting the concentrated ore in the presence of air. That means we are keeping open vessel. We are keeping the open vessel in the roasting method. So what happens? The ore may contain sulfide ores. The ore contains sulfide of the metal, and then this method is used, the roasting method is used, and this sulfide will convert into oxide by reacting with the oxygen present in the air. The sulfide of the metal will convert into oxide by reacting with the oxygen present in the air. The ore may contain Cu2S, cuprous sulfide, will convert into cuprous oxide, Cu2O. So this was done in the roasting. So conversion of the concentrated ore into its oxide, and that two methods are there. One is the calcination and the another one is the roasting. So what is the difference between calcination and roasting? In the calcination, the heating was done in the absence of air, but in the roasting, the heating was done in the presence of air. And other difference is, in the calcination, the carbonates or hydroxides of metal will convert into its oxide. In the roasting, sulfide ores or the sulfides of the metal will convert into oxide. So what happens to the ore now? We got the metal oxides. Here we are converting the concentrated ore into its oxides, right? So in this step we got the oxides. We should reduce them. So in the second step is reduction of the oxide. The second step is reduction of oxide. Reduction of the oxide. This is the process extraction of metal from its oxide. Reduction means what? The process of extraction of metal from its oxide. As you know, in the reduction process, there may be reducing agent. So, the reducing agent is used to reduce oxides to its metal. So, which are the reducing agent you know? Yeah, yes, electricity is a reducing agent. What are the other? Carbon or carbon monoxide. These can be used as reducing agent, right? So, as you studied the reactivity series in the third chapter, right? In that, the aluminium is there, no? Above the aluminium, all the metal can be reduced, metal oxides can be reduced by using the electricity. That means highly reactive. In the reactivity series, the metals present in the top of the series, that is sodium, potassium, calcium and aluminium, these are reduced, these oxides of these metals are reduced by using the electricity. So in the reactivity series, the highly reactive metals, that is above the aluminium, the metal oxides are reduced, these metal oxides are reduced using the electricity. For the other metals, we can use the carbon or a carbon monoxide. So, highly reactive metals are reduced from its oxide state to metal by using the electricity. The next step in the metallurgy is refining of metals. In the metallurgy, the third step is refining of metals. It also involves different methods. The metal obtained by reduction may contain other metals, metal oxides, and small quantities of non-metals as impurity. The metal obtained from the second step may contain metal or metal oxide or small quantities of non-metals also as impurity. So, in the refining of metals, what we are doing? Removal of these impurities. Which impurities? Non-metals or metal oxides or other metals present in the ore. So, depending on the nature of ore or the metal to be extracted, or depending upon the nature of impurity, there are so many methods are there to refine a metal. But in your syllabus, 3 methods are given. The first one is the liquefaction, and the second one is the distillation, and the third one is the electrolytic refining. The first method is liquefaction. The low melting point metals like tin, lead may contain other high melting point metal or metal oxides as impurity. The metal which has the low melting point as tin or lead. In that, some metals which has the high melting point and the impurities are made there, right? So that can be refined by using the liquefaction, tin or lead. So here is the schematic diagram of liquefaction. Here we are using the furnace. In this process, we are heating the ore. So what happens? While ore is heated, we are putting the impure metal here. This is inclined surface. In the inclined surface, this ore will be passed, and this is the furnace. Here heat will be generated. The temperature, at high temperature, here heat will be there. So what happens? This impure metals comes here, and the low melting point metals. As I told, the liquefaction method is used for the low melting point metals like tin or lead, right? So low melting point means what? They will convert into liquid. So this liquid will be collected here and crystallized it. So here what happens? The metal in the ore, the metal is present. That metal will convert into liquid and it will flow to this tub, and the impurity will be left behind here. In the liquefaction method, it was used. The metal has low melting point. Let us see the second one. That is distillation. This method is used for the refining of metals with low boiling point, such as zinc, cadmium, mercury. When the impure metal is heated in a retort, the pure metal alone vaporizes because its boiling point is low. Then only we are using distillation, right? So that in the distillation we are refining the metal which has the low BP, boiling point. If the low boiling point is there, then we are using the distillation. These are the metals zinc, cadmium, mercury. And what we are doing in this method? We are heating. So when the heating, what happens? The metals are convert into vapors and they are condensed to get the pure metals. The vapors are condensed to get the pure metals. This method is distillation. And the last one, that is electrolytic refining. It is the process of refining of metal by the electrolysis of a solution of the salt of the metal. using a small piece of pure metal as the negative electrode and the impure metal as the positive electrode. So example for the electrolytic refining is copper. So copper can be refined by using this method. So in the electrolytic refining, what we are doing, we are taking the pure metal and also this impure metal. By using pure metal, we are refining this impure metal by using the process electrolysis. So the name electrolytic refining. So for the electrolytic refining or the electrolysis, we are taking a beaker which contains the salt solution of acid, salt solution of metal which has to be refined. Here we are taking the copper as example. So the salt solution of the copper is copper sulfate, CuSO4. It should be in acid. So copper sulfate solution with H2SO4. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. In the beaker, we are taking the copper sulfate solution with the sulfuric acid, that is salt solution. Which is salt solution? The metal which has to be refined. The metal, that metal solution was used, metal salt solution was used. Here we are using the copper. So copper sulfate solution was used, and here we are taking the impure copper metal, and here thin pure copper metal was used. Thin copper metal, and this is the impure copper metal which has to be refined. Okay, copper metal rod, but it is pure. So this impure should be connected to the positive terminal of battery. This is the positive terminal and this is the negative terminal. While representing a battery, the long line will be considered as positive and this short line will be considered as negative. So this is the positive terminal of battery, this is the negative terminal of the battery. So impure copper metal rod will connected to the positive terminal and the pure copper metal rod was connected to the negative terminal. So which is anode now. This is the anode. Impure was anode and pure was cathode. And this is the positive electrode and this is negative electrode. So as I told, here copper sulfate solution is there. As you know, electrolysis means what? We are passing the electricity and the solution which have the convert into ions. We studied in the third chapter, the electrolysis. So here copper sulfate will convert into ions. Which are the ions? That is Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus. So in the solution now we will get copper 2 plus SO4 2 minus. Right. As same as that, this impure metal will have the copper metal. Right. So this copper will oxidized to form the Cu2 plus 2 electron. So this 2 electron can be passed to this circuit to the pure metal. So the electrons which are liberated from the oxidation of copper from the impure metal will pass to the pure metal through the circuit. So these electrons are taken by the ions present in the solutions. So these 2 electrons which are come here taken by this copper, and copper will be deposited on the copper rod. These copper ions are deposited on this pure metal. So as is same as that I told here, the copper will oxidize to form the Cu2 plus 2 electron. Why this reaction is oxidation? Here loss of electron occurs, or here zero oxidation state is there, but here plus 2. That means oxidation state is increased. So this process is oxidation, and these electrons will flow through the circuit. So what happens to this ion? This ion will liberate it to the solution, and it will combine to the sulfur SO4 2 minus, or it will goes to the copper metal and deposited on the copper metal by taking electrons come here. So what is the reaction occurring there? The copper 2 plus takes the 2 electron and forms the copper metal. So it is the reduction, it is the oxidation. And as I told, oxidation means loss of electron and reduction means gain of electron. Okay, so at the anode, copper will be convert into copper 2 plus. At the cathode, copper 2 plus will convert into copper and deposited on the pure copper metal rod. So what happens? Here the impure metal loses all the copper metal ions or the copper metal present here, and the impurity will be fall down here. Insoluble impurity is there, that will be fall down here. It is called anode mud. It is called anode mud. And because it is anode, so the impurity falling from here called anode mud, but the only insoluble impurity will be stay here, but the soluble will be in the solution itself. That is copper sulfate solution with the sulfuric acid there. No? In that the impurity is soluble, then it will be in the soluble form. If it is insoluble, then will be deposited in the below of the beaker. This is called anode mud. And now we are studied electrolytic refining of copper. In that what we have done, impure copper metal rod was taken and it was connected to the positive terminal of the battery. To the negative terminal, a thin pure copper metal rod was connected, and it is cathode and also negative electrode. So the positive ions are attracted to the negative electrode, and here it is positive electrode and here negative ions are attracted. And in the solution what happens? Copper sulfate will be convert into Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus, and this copper 2 plus travel to the negative electrode and takes 2 electron and deposited on the pure metal. So that now impure metal was converted into pure metal by the electrolytic refining. In this refining we will get the 99.9% pure copper metal. So in the copper metal ore, it contains a small amount of gold. So the refining of copper will takes a business, right? Because this contains gold. So that gold can be used to the used by concentrating, and it was used to the ornaments or others. So the copper ore contains the silver and the gold also. So this electrolytic refining can also be used for the gold. This electrolytic refining was also can be used for the gold, but we have to take one impure and pure metal rods and connect it to the battery and the salt solution of it with the sulfuric acid.
Electrolytic refining is a process of obtaining pure metal. The electrolyte has to be the salt of the metal which needs to be purified or refined. Here we are trying to refine copper, so the electrolyte taken is acidified copper sulfate. The anode is taken as a thick rod made up of impure copper. Cathode is made up of pure copper and it is taken in the form of a thin rod. When current passes, copper sulfate, that is the electrolyte, dissociates into copper ions and sulfate ions. At anode, copper atoms lose 2 electrons to the anode and change into copper ions. These copper ions come into the electrolyte. The copper ions from the electrolyte get attracted towards the cathode. They gain 2 electrons from the cathode and in turn change into copper atoms. As more and more copper atoms get deposited on cathode, the cathode goes on becoming thicker. As atoms of copper are coming out of anode, anode goes on becoming thinner. The anode, which was made up of impure copper, the impurities, they fall below the anode and get collected in the form of anode mud. Copper which is deposited on cathode is the pure copper and can be used for making electric wires or cables or utensils, etc.
So that today we are studied 2 remaining steps of metallurgy. That is the second step, extraction of metal, and the third step, refining of metal. In the extraction of metal, the again 2 steps are there: conversion of the concentrated ore into its oxide and reduction of the oxide. So in the calcination, you have to remember we are heating in the absence of air, but in the roasting, presence of air, and then we are reduced that oxide and we are refined it using different methods: liquefaction, distillation, electrolytic refining. In the liquefaction, we use the metal low melting point. The metal which has the low melting point, for that we can use the method liquefaction, and the distillation can be used for the low boiling point metal, and the electrolytic refining can be used for the metals. So this is the 3 different steps which involved in the metallurgy. Now we got the pure metals from the ore, right?
Extraction of crude metal from concentrated ore. The concentrated ore must be converted into a form which is suitable for reduction. Oxides are easier to reduce. Thus, isolation of metals from concentrated ore involves 2 major steps: conversion to oxide and reduction of oxide to metal. Conversion of oxide. It is easier to reduce oxide than sulfide or carbonate ore. This can be done by 2 methods: calcination and roasting. Calcination. It involves heating when the volatile matter escapes, leaving behind the metal oxide. Roasting. It is a process in which ore is heated in regular supply of air at a temperature below the melting point of the metal. Sulfide ores are converted into oxide by roasting. Reduction of oxide to metal. The process of converting metal oxide into metal is called reduction. It needs a suitable reducing agent depending upon the reactivity or reducing power of the metal. For example, carbon, carbon monoxide, aluminium and magnesium.
This is the process occurring in all the metals. If you consider any metal, all the processes are going on from the extraction to get pure metal. Okay, thank you.